essential that we will first dwell on the important component of literature review. Now, as the uh, ma'am was just explaining to us that what all components are involved with reference to literature review, we will now be looking at the important uh, framework wherein we'll be looking at literature review. Now, friends, as I begin my narrative, it is essential to comprehend when we talk about reviewing something, reviewing anything, what does it entail? Now, literature review implies that we are looking at the important components of research from the point of view of review. Now, when we talk about literature review before the same life, it is essential that we have to understand that this is the first key aspect of our research. And in this key aspect, it is very essential that we must think on what is my
Yes, madam, it is visible. Madam, it can continue. It is visible.
just 1 minute, I know. So when we talk about research, it is very essential that the very first idea that is looking at the themes of literature. Now, literature review, it is the guidepost. Literature review forms the yardstick wherein one tends to into the aspect. Now, as a researcher, when you have decided that you're going forward with the research, what is that is required before you engage in the process of research? And what is that is essential that before beginning the research, it is essential that the researcher, the student, the faculty must problematize that what does where does the interest lie? How can you add more to research? And most importantly, that is you have to ask yourself, engage with a very important issue that is what's new to us? Now, these aspects are essential with reference to the argument that you have to define your topic. It is very essential that you work in a systematic manner wherein your topic has been defined. Now, this definition of your topic will lead you towards the next aspect that is it will be the guidepost wherein you can engage with reference on the review of literature part. Now, when we work on the review of literature part, the very idea that we know that I want to work in a particular topic. For that matter, if I'm working looking towards technology, when I try to define my topic, it is helpful for me that it is useful for me with reference to this particular topic. It is useful for me with reference to this particular dimension of technology. Now, as you do your literature review, always remember correlation is important. When you enter a library, you should know that the books that you select, the uh, chapters that you select from particular books, the journals that you select from particular, it should correlate with what we just discussed, the topic that you have decided. And then this literature review, for example, as a researcher, you have to take your job, you have to take it up in a very serious manner. And this serious manner implies that it is essential that your literature work should correlate with adding more to your research interest. It should aid you in terms of guiding you to move forward with respect to your research endeavors. So this is where when you're doing a literature review, when you're entering any library, when you're doing any research, it must essentially essentially you understand that this has to correlate with the bigger topic that you have in mind with reference to understanding, with reference to the bigger picture of looking at that this literature review must correspond to the bigger question that is with reference to the topic that you have in mind. And above all, it is always advisable to every researcher that you select the topic. Topic should be worked out in such a meticulous manner that it caters to two things. Number one, it should be an area of the research. You have to live with this area. You have to deal with the subject for say 3 years or 4 years of your PhD degree or for the duration of your research grant, amongst others. Firstly, it should be of interest to you, and secondly, always remember whenever we think the committee with reference to putting forward our research proposal, the only thing that they are asking us is that what is the new that it is offering? What is that the new perspective that your research is offering? This is why I got this very interesting picture that when you are doing your literature review, it is essential that your literature review must correspond must correspond to the important aspect, namely that is the important aspect concerning the issue of scanning through the entire literature. When we are looking at literature review, again it is very essential and it is always very advisable for the benefit of research at large that we must often look into bigger dynamics, look into other dynamics involved, that it should be done in a manner taken to the important questions, namely that we discussed here. But you have to scan through various literature pieces in a manner, look through it very carefully. And two dimensions that must drive your literature part, that is interest. You always have to remember you have to deal with the topic, you have to engage and live with the topic, say for a year, 2 years, 3 years. And most important, always ask yourself what is new that you will answer. Dr. Anjana before we very rightly explained that today we are living in a world where academic research is competing with corporate research. We're living in a world where realms of education are completely defined. Now, in this scenario, it is very essential that our literature review should be worked out in a manner that is your topic is well defined, it adds to your interest, and most important, you are accountable to the answer that you added more to the already existing research. For example, there's a research that is being done, say for the matter, with reference to environment. Your research add more that it offers some new insight, some new problem solving perspective with reference to questions concerning environment. So do remember, when we enter the library, when we enter the virtual world, when we engage with any book, any journal, this correlation is very important. Now, once you have established the correlation, while you're doing the literature review, brainstorm. That is, you have to constantly engage, constantly ask yourself that what could be the right strategy to guide you to locate the research material. It is essential that we must have a systematic, rational, and pragmatic approach. I'll sum up these 3 points for the benefit of all our participants. Why systematic? Social science or natural science, it's like a tool. It's like a step-by-step process. So it is essential that you, for example, before moving to a magnus opus book, perhaps you could first clarify your concept with not with a lighter book and then come over a magnus opus book. Secondly, rational and pragmatic. Now, what does being rational and pragmatic? What does being rational and pragmatic involves that you must be clear. You must be clear in terms of that you go through it. It is of value to your research. It should be contextual. The fact that if you're doing the research with reference to sustainability and you're reading a literature that was written somewhere some years back, that might be relevant today. essential that be systematic. And while selecting your literature, you should be rational and pragmatic. And rational and pragmatic can be best judged with reference to the idea that whether it caters to the needs of contemporary times. Because quite often when you play the book, you often ask you why did you read this particular literature A, B, or C. So therein, you'll be in a better position to answer that yes, when you have a right strategy of brainstorming, you can answer that yes, I chose this strategy because I found it right with reference to it's systematic, it's rational, it's pragmatic, and most important, these parameters, if you employ them in locating the research material, then the end task of working out a right literature review becomes very easy and feasible. So once again, and like this is something that this is an exercise that I've done quite often in the research projects I have engaged with during my MPhil and PhD research all the time. That this is how I used to brainstorm. That okay, you work out a systematic strategy, and wherein when you're when you are on the path, when you have located your literature, you have to ensure that what is it that you want to pick up from each literature. And looking at this bigger wave, you constantly keep on asking yourself, is it catering to your research topic? Is it adding a new dimension? And above all, is it answering the bigger question? That is, how will you work out your research proposal further? So, define your source selection criteria. Do remember you can't read everything, right? If you can read everything, we might just end turning up as a robot, right? Define your source selection criteria. As I pointed out, time framework, it is essential. And then when you're talking about time framework, you remember that any particular methodology you want to look in, any particular database that you want to look at, because when you are doing a literature review, when we talk about source selection criteria, as Anjana ma'am just pointed out that that there are various sources of learning. So there are primary sources and secondary. Primary sources namely something that we get from the first hand. For example, a government report would be a primary source. For example, fieldwork would be a primary source. But for the purpose of literature review, when you have your source selection criteria, divide it into primary versus secondary sources, and then engage with the fact that it should be something relevant. That is, for the matter, if I'm talking about technology, if I'm trying to research on technology, I should look into new dynamics, namely the contemporary times. If I want to do research on educational pedagogical changes or innovation in pedagogy, time framework is essential. That I try to correlate my topic with reference to changes in the contemporary time. And then above all, while doing the literature review, always use it as an opportunity that whether it will give me a breakthrough into employing a particular methodology with reference to my bigger picture of research. Because quite often when we do our research literature review, we get the sense that will it be a descriptive study? Will I try to make it a legal oriented study where it was referring to the laws and other things? So it gives you your literature review, gives you a guidance into this understanding that how will you situate your research into a particular methodology or database. Then after you're done with this aspect, the next stage comes that of the execution of the strategy. See, you have read the selected articles carefully, evaluate and analyze. And how do you analyze? Look into important patterns. Look into what is the important debates offered by every book. Look into the research input for the matter if a particular work A done by role of global firms, right? Try to see what research inputs is it giving, or perhaps how could you give better research inputs with the same raw material, or perhaps how could you give a new outlook to the same research. So it is essential that you map important trends in the research in the area with reference to topic, and then to evaluate the information. Because always remember when you even go to defend your thesis, right? You are often asked, why did you work on a particular topic? If you have the right evaluation with reference to all the information that you have collected, it becomes very, very useful. So therefore, in this stage of literature review, this is the stage of execution. Now, when you are in the phase of execution, read the selected articles carefully, evaluate them, think, analyze them, and look for important patterns, look for important debates, look for significant research inputs. So this mapping, as I point out, that this mapping will be useful for you at various other stages, namely with reference to the idea of writing your research report, or with reference to defending your thesis or at its stage of viva, amongst others. So therefore, it is essential that you map down the trends, that you try to understand that out of the pie that you have collected, which area you want to give more importance out of the entire lot that you have read through. Which area you would like to highlight better? Always remember that research is your endeavor, and your involvement with this endeavor would be reflected here. That when you are jotting down research, when you're jotting down your perspective, that is which degree of the literature review you want to give how much importance. So this mapping is very essential. For example, if you are doing an area like climate change, now there's so much on climate change, but then based on the literature review, you map down that okay, with reference to United Nations report, I give it a 50% importance. With reference to grassroots endeavors reports or reports of that you have read with reference to grassroots concerns of in climate change, I give it 20% importance, right? With respect to media coverage of climate change issues, I give it 30% importance. So that way, so this mapping of trends becomes essential reference to your writing the literature review. Now, when you are engaging in any endeavor, as ma'am was talking about me, I do columns, I do articles on a monthly basis at various newspapers, magazines, and other tabloids. And whenever you engage in the art of writing, always remember clarity is very essential. So similarly, when you are, when you have done the hard work, you visited the library, you have collected the books, you have collected the journals. Essential then, that is when you are in the stage of execution of the entire hard work done into the form of a report, be clear, put down all inputs, and then structure your writing. It is very essential that you balance various sections, balance various themes, and clearly put down your inputs. That is, the researcher, the supervisor should know that a student A is telling to us this thing. The supervisor should know that the student B is telling us this thing. So clearly put down all the input. Clarity of thought is very essential for any researcher, not only for an academic researcher, but even for a corporate researcher, because it gives you the authenticity, it gives you the weightage with reference to standing on a firm footing. Because always remember, this research is your product, this research is your baby, and you have to really take it forward. So essential that you are clear with reference to all the inputs that you have gathered and clearly structure your writing. Now, I always advise, and this is something that I engage with it religiously, that I make a point that every day I write down 1 page or 2 page. Just to share with you, I did while I was doing my PhD and I even MPhil, I used to be teaching. So, because we all wanted some pocket money just to help us sustain our PhD as well as to help us with certain kind of monetary benefit also. But I mean, even amidst that, we used to make a point that every day write a page, every day learn new things, because this clarity is something which is like a very important asset in the life of an academician. This clarity is a very important means for driving out innovation. Because when you're clear in your thoughts, it is the right thing. So When you're writing a research review also, please be clear. Don't use jargons. Structure your writing. Balance various sections of the theme so that your research, wherever it is read, it is something that is always cherished. Then, again, while we were talking about writing a literature review, please ensure that the text is written in clear and concise academic style. By concise academic style, I mean that the language should display a little bit of your maturity as a researcher. Your language, your use of text, whichever language, somebody who's a multilingual person, because I know English, Hindi, Urdu, Malayalam, and I enjoy all the languages. So the text should be written in clear, concise, academic style. Because as a researcher, as an academic person, as a student of learning, this kind of maturity must be displayed. They should avoid, you have to read once you've written your text, read through it. No grammatical errors, no spelling errors. And above all, the sequence should flow smoothly and logically with right arrangement of primary sources of literature, secondary sources of literature. What did you read there? How does your interest in that particular area come forward to help you come up with the right, nice research topic? And above all, what is the new thing? This is very essential. What is the new thing that you offer with reference to the subject at hand? Now, the idea of finding what is new is not clear. Nobody knows what is new. But at the same time, dear friends, you could be new in terms of the new text that you have studied. For example, everybody studies climate change. But what is new that you offer? Perhaps you are picking up new books with reference to the topic at hand. You could be new in terms of methodology you employ. Once again, literature review is essentially a guide here to demonstrate that you have read new books. So this new books guide you to a new methodology, and above all, try to look at things in a very systematic manner, so that once you are systematic, you are easily in a position, a good position to demonstrate some innovation with respect to your topic. Now, moving forward, so the first part of my presentation, that is when you are doing your review of literature, search relevant literature. How do you define relevance? It should be concerning the topic at hand, and secondly, it should enable you to answer the question, what is the new thing that you are going to offer? Once you have done your research, once done the hard work of locating the relevant literature, the second step, evaluate the sources. How do you evaluate the sources? Which is the correct one that I should study? Because there are lots of books, there are various things. But herein, as a researcher, you must identify that which literature caters better to the issue that you want to study. Once you have evaluated the sources, identify the themes, the debates, gaps. Work on how do you outline the structure, and then in the end, write your literature review. Do remember, if your literature review part is done systematically, I would really tell everyone, then half of your research bit is clearly done. Now, on that note, we move to the second part of the lecture, that is writing, making research proposals. I will be having questions from you all. I'll be addressing questions from you all after this. But at this now, let's engage with this next aspect, that is writing, making research proposals. Now, just imagine that you are a scholar, you are a corporate research firm, you are done with the literature review part, and now you want to put up your thoughts before a board for a PhD admission, before a board for a job or for a grant, right? So here comes the idea of writing, making research proposal, that you want to apply for a research project, a research grant. Always remember, while I was sharing this, this flyer, the social media information that Pravina had sent me, I had used the quote by Neil Armstrong, and I quote that research is creating new knowledge. So always remember, research implies search, read, right? That is, you have to examine, you have to search, you have to put forward new facts, new findings. So the first thing for a research proposal should be the title page. Titles should not be more than 20 to 30 words, right? For that matter, understanding climate change, case study of, right? Uh, Gender equality, comparative analysis of situation A and situation B. The title should be clear. It should signify the mandate area of your research. So with the title page, once again ensure that your title is not long, the title is very clear, and again within a same line, there should not be repetition of the words. So think clearly that your title should demonstrate your thoughts, your entire mandate of research in 20 to 30 words, not more. Next comes abstract. Abstract should first identify, for the matter, we all know that climate change is an important issue today. Identify why it is important. Now, in this important aspect, what is missing? This is what the research attempts to study. Another example of abstract, we all know that technology has played an important role. One, I highlight how the technology is important and then identify that what is new with reference to technology that the research wants to study. Abstract. Again, first the title page, then the abstract. Like the title page, the abstract should be very clear, and I would really urge Sam, I'll just come to this important question that you just highlighted refers to your avoiding plagiarism in the review literature. I'll just come to that. But allow me to finish that and then I'll come to that. Clear, Sam? So I'll just come to that in a bit. So clear, abstract should demonstrate that this is a new thing that you have to offer. Above all, abstract should, at the very outset, outline the important aspects concerning your research. Next comes writing of the introduction. Keep the focus towards the research question. See, quite often when you're writing a research proposal, abstract and introduction often overlap. Because remember, you're going to be telling the same thing above all. You're going to be addressing the same thing above all. So it is essential that while you're writing the introduction, do find balancing with reference to writing of the abstract and find balancing with reference that how do you introduce the topic in a clear, nicer manner to the board in front of you. And an important yardstick of what defines what is nice or what defines what is the correct introduction, that is, you keep the focus towards the research question. That is, you must be able to be, you should show that you are in a position that the focus is towards the research question. Then again, I'll just come to what Sam just pointed out. That is, when we are talking about literature review, how we avoid things in there. See, we all know that literature review is the backbone of the research process, and research process in India and overseas also has witnessed a sea change. That is, today social sciences have to compete at the same framework with reference to natural sciences. So, science is rising with research aid, but we must always be very careful that it's something that it should be ethical. That is, you should not just do things that is, cut, copy, paste. It should be ethical. And the best way of avoiding plagiarism with respect to literature review is that you be true to yourself. And I think this is applicable for any academic activity or any research-oriented activity we all engage with. Today, we all know that we are living in the world of so many things to work out the aspect of how much we have copied down, etc., etc. But at the very outset, when we are engaging in the process of research, be true to it. Because remember, plagiarism is the biggest crime in academic and writing discipline. So avoid it. So remember your brand as a researcher, as an academic, as a corporate person would really be enhanced when you give a best research. And nothing beats like innovative, authentic, new research. So literature reviews, you can understand, is the backbone of the research process. Avoid this is an ethical aspect that we all must engage with. And above all, as we're living in the world of so much technicality, including this is something that is often, there's no escape way out. There's so many softwares and among others that could be resorted to just to be sure that what you have done is authentic. And these researchers must also submit ourselves for review. But when that's what I do often. But when I complete my particular chapter or my writing, I do the review, I do submit it for checking the plagiarism and ensure that the manuscript has less than 10% plagiarism. That's what I did when I submitted my chapter for Dr. Pravina for recently on Indian economy. I worked on digital economy and it was a piece for international relations. So be true to yourself, right? This is very essential because when you're true to yourself as a researcher, it is essential from your heart. Then when you're writing research, identify the gap. And again, this is something that is coming from the literature review part of the chapter. Identify the gap. The literature review tells everyone that what's new that you have to offer, and above all, you should be able to answer for yourself with research purpose and research relevance. Why is it that you want to engage in a particular topic, say for a year for a minor research project, or for 2 years for a major research project, or 3 years for a PhD? So research purpose and relevance should be demonstrated while you're putting on your literature review. Then statement of problem. Again, solve slowly, it's all coming in systematic way. When you have the demonstrated that okay, this is what you have studied, this is the area now that you have to demonstrate that you have to highlight that there is this problem which I want to study. You have to elaborate on the scope. That, for example, if I want to study economy, what is the scope? If I want to study visualization, I have to, tell clearly to the board, to the jury, that this is the scope of the thing. Then hypothesis. Hypothesis should spell out your assumption. For example, if this, then X, Y, Z. Because this, therefore, this type of hypothesis should spell out your assumption. And then comes the next aspect of central question and the related question. I often advise all the researchers to write down your research proposal. The central question can also have a related question because when you're engaging in so much literature, quite often we are struggling with ideas, like which idea is better. Remember that Dr. Anjana at the very beginning of our live was talking about ideas and beliefs. So we are talking about names, which question is better. So it's always advisable to assign it to your workshop. You have your central question. Central question is the question that you have to keep on hitting the, keep on hitting the hammer on. So you can also have one or two examples, not more, one or two related questions. Then, once you have spelled out the statement problem, hypothesis, central question, you tell the researcher in your proposal that what is the outline of your research. Primary sources, secondary sources, year one will be doing this, 6 months will be doing this. So it is essential that you give an outline. How much time will you devote to various tasks of the research entail? How much time for your field work? How much time for writing the manuscript? How much time for conducting interviews? So give an outline of research methodology. And again, you must always be again, answering what's towards this exam, just ask the aspect of plagiarism and related to it be true, be authentic. So here also, be very true, be very authentic with your providing the outline of research methodology. So take a plan of work, outline of various stages and the corresponding timeline. Example schedules, the date sheet, the chapters, the framework. For example, first year would be devoted to reading the text,